Okay. Let's see if it shows up. Yep, we are
Mm-hmm.
live.
We are. I am
I hope it doesn't. The last
actually
time.
looking at it right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to mute my mic. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, there's no problem. If anybody joins, in the meantime, I will keep them entertained.
Let's hope some people do join. That's what I worry about.
I hope so. I hope so. I know some people probably are not the happiest with me right now, so they may not be here, and that's understandable. But I'm sure some people will likely join.
Well, look, we already have 3 watching.
Oh.
Hi, hello. We are waiting for more people to join.
Okay.
Okay. My computer's so loud. It's true.
Oh man, I know how that feels.
Oh, it's creepy clown girl. Hey, hun.
Hey,
How are you
CC,
doing? Is the music too loud or is it just right? Can you let me know? Please. I don't know. But yeah, you just gotta do things stride. You know, don't outdo yourself. So.
Yeah, that's my problem. Is I have so much to do every day in real life, and then I get to my laptop and I look at my schedule and I'm like, oh boy, oh.
I know.
Yeah, I'm constantly busy.
You know, there is. Oh, sorry, I hit my mic. Yeah, I feel so bad because remember I did that huge thing just not even a couple days ago where I had a lot of narrators. I read their ghost stories that they sent me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, PA Nightmare sent me his story. And I guess I overlooked it in my email. I felt so bad because he was supposed to be on there. And I told him, I said, look.
Really?
Yeah. I said, he was pretty cool. But I told him, I said, I promise that I will make my own, tell my own ghost stories. And then I'll put you on there. And maybe I'll get more other people to join.
That's a good idea.
So I just felt so bad. I was like...
Yeah, and it happens, when you get a lot of submissions like that.
Yeah, and he was like, it's okay, it's happened to me too.
It happens. It's hard to organize all that at once.
You have no clue how many Word documents.
It happens, man.
How many Word documents I have of... I have a Word document for my true stories, Word document for my paranormal stories, Word document with
right.
just my YouTube stuff that I need to put into the description. Hi, Lynn. How are you today? I hope you're ready for some scary stories. Well, they're okay. There's some ghost stories. I'm not sure about Matt, but I know he had something happen to him recently.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yesterday. Or maybe it was the day before.
Was it in your house?
I don't know. It was this week. It was past couple days. Yeah. So it was kind of creepy, too.
So your house is haunted?
Oh, yeah. Everywhere I go. I'm pretty sure
You're haunted.
I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure I'm haunted. My
Are you there?
wife, both of us.
Okay.
Yeah, I know at least I am, though. I know at least I am. Because I've moved into places that had no history that would, you know, give it the ability to be haunted, and I'm still being haunted by something. So I'm pretty sure it's something attached to me, and I'm pretty sure it's from the house I grew up in.
Yeah, because you have a lot of stories from that house. I read some of them, and I was just, some of it was like, is this real? You know, I wasn't, I was like, it's got to
Yeah,
be
man,
like, wow. What was
it's
it?
got to be exaggerated.
The one, it better not be. I don't think it is.
No, no, no. I thought that's what you were gonna say. Yeah, no.
Oh, well,
None of
yeah.
it's exaggerated. That's the worst. That's the worst thing, though. Is like none of it's exaggerated. I wish it was.
Wow.
I
Because,
wish I could say it's not. Everything I sent to you, 100% true, and it was a very hard house to grow up in. It honestly was. I cannot describe. People say they want to live in a haunted house until they, and then they realize it's not so fun. 'Cause you could
no.
be
Oh, my live stream.
relaxing.
My live stream just said it's live stream offline. Can you hold on 1 second? Matt?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
That's why I paused, just
Yeah.
so I can keep thought.
Hold on 1 second, okay? I think I might know why it went offline. Hold on. Hold on, everybody, if you can still hear me.
I don't know. It still says you're live. Hmm. Well, hi, hello everybody. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me. I don't even know if this is still live. Yeah, it says it's still live. 5 people watching. Hello guys. Um, so I, for some reason, it said, and I mean, it does not appear to be. I've checked a few times now, but as I was saying, everybody wants to live in a haunted house until they do. Um, I can tell you from personal experience, it's not always great. Um, yeah, it's wonderful at times because you get to know that you're not alone, but it's also rough because, um, well, it's pretty rough because you could be just minding your business, working on something, I don't know, and then, um, all of a sudden, you know, something gets thrown, something gets moved, uh, you see something appears to you, and it takes your breath. Or you can see. Listen, I've seen ghosts. I saw so many ghosts from that house, but every single time, it's still an experience because it always takes you by surprise. And you have some good experiences too. Like there's the incident I call. I don't really know what to call it, but my grandmother lived in that house for about 14 years total. I didn't. I lived in it for I think I don't know. I must have been in that house for 6, 7 years, and she had lived in it I think 7, 8 years prior than I. Um, I want to visit, but not live in. Yeah, yeah. Visiting haunted houses are fun. Living in haunted houses are a different story. Um,
I'm here, by the way.
okay.
I'm just
Yeah, no,
listening.
we never went off live. We never
Oh,
went
we
off
did it?
live.
Oh, thank God.
No, we didn't. We
Well,
were live the whole time. That's why I started talking again.
well, everyone, I kind of live out in the boonies, and we have Wi-Fi, but it's not the best. And my husband,
hmm
when he came through the door, that's when it told me offline. I'm like, I know why, because he uses our Wi-Fi on his phone, and he had YouTube playing or something. So I told him, please switch back to
Mm-hmm.
data so you won't knock me offline. So I know that's kind of sad, but it's true. I have a big
That's
family.
the rough part about. It's hard being living out in the middle of nowhere sometimes because that kind of stuff happens.
We don't have a regular Wi-Fi access.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you have to have like a specialized kind because you live so far out, right?
yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Off the if you Google like Wi-Fi for what's the word? What's the word when you're out in the boonies? Not the boonies, but a rural. Is
Uh,
that what you call it? Rural area? I can't.
rural.
Yeah, I can't say it good.
Rural. I can't say it well either. The rural areas.
No, but what I wanted to
Rural.
ask you, Matt, was the one with the little
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah. Which one?
The one that the little girl died. Wasn't that you? Wasn't that your story? With the
Yeah.
truck?
That little girl's mentioned a few times because I had a few incidences with her.
Yeah, where
Um.
she got killed out in the street.
Yeah. So, what's your question? Is that true?
I mean, I just want to know more about it. That blows my mind.
Oh. Okay. Well, so this house that I grew up in was originally my landlord's and his wife's house. He built it. Well, part of it was already built, as you know. It was built in the 1850s, but the extension he added on in the 70s for his wife, because she fell in love with the house and the property around it, so he bought it for her. Now, when I say this guy bought it, this guy bought the house, like 2,000, 3,000 acres of land behind it. He like did a mountain behind the house. He bought the entire mountain. He owned the mountain, the entire mountain. Like he legally owned all that property.
Wow.
And he even owned half of the neighboring town. This one guy, like that's who our landlord was. But he bought this house for his wife because his wife loved it. So he added the extension on. They ended up having a lot of kids. I think it was like, I don't know, 5 kids, something like that. But the little girl was one of a set of twins, and
Yeah.
one day she was out. Now this house is built next to, I think it's the interstate in Vermont.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's I-95 or something. I can't really remember, but the driveway is directly connected to the road. It's directly connected. There's no separation. It's cement driveway, road.
What? And it goes straight
And
onto the interstate. That's
yeah,
dangerous.
straight on. Like the road is connected
to the
like
interstate.
to our driveway.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not like
And
an
this,
exit and then you get to the house. It's actually like on the freeway.
yeah,
crazy.
it might be considered a highway. I always get my interstates and highways
It's okay.
confused
But
and stuff like that. But essentially it's a main road that goes through Vermont, and
Yeah.
you have to go through this on this road to get to the town Randolph, which goes on to the highway interstate. I can never remember which one's which, but it's the the one you travel when you go to other like states. But no, this road is the main road you take to get to town, and yeah, it's directly connected. But anyway, she was outside one day, and he told me that this is what happened. So I asked about it.
okay.
So he was outside playing with a bouncing ball one day, and I guess like it had bounced against the house and had gone into the road. Now this road is a 50-mile-per-hour road, and she ran out to get it, and I think he said it was a car that hit her, and she was killed immediately on impact.
That's so sad. That
Yeah.
to me that's like a freak accident, you know?
Yeah. Well, the worst thing is that this road curves. Like right before the house, it's a curve. It's a curve. It's not. It curves and then goes straight. So there's this curve, and you can't see around this bend at all. Like there's
Um,
no foresight. You go around this bend, and then it's just right there. And so it's really, really hard to know if someone's road. Sorry, I'm turning off my
well,
little Glade
you know what
plug-in
it
thing.
kind of reminds me of? You know the movie Pet Cemetery, where Gage gets hit
Yes.
by the semi?
Oh man.
It's
Yes.
just really creepy to me.
That's actually essentially happened. That's actually a really good um movie like take of what happened, yeah.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere, car hits her.
Be a nightmare. How's you? I'm good. I'm just sitting here talking to Matt, and I have I call it a slushy wine cooler. So, and then I'm getting Taco Bell delivered, so I think today's going pretty good.
Taco Bell is delicious.
Well, I was watching a Shane, Rylan Adam, and Shane Dawson newest video, and they were making
Okay.
like a Taco Bell thing. I was like, oh my god, that looks so good. So I just went ahead and, got on Postmates, and I'm surprised they even come to my house, but they do.
Okay.
But,
Wow.
what? Victor.
No, I was saying wow, like they actually come to your house.
Oh,
Hello, PA. How are you?
Victor,
Um,
yes, I've done a Porch Pirate one. It was a creepy pasta, but it was kind of in the beginning of my narrations. But it was pretty good. I remember that one. I've done so many videos, like 100 and something, I know that.
yeah, you've been busy.
Well, lately I've been kind of stepped back a little bit because I haven't been feeling so good because the doctor put me on new medication.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I had to cancel
Mm-hmm.
our last one. But it's gotten a lot better. When you're on it for a while, your body gets used to it, and then you feel better. So
Right.
that's
Well,
how
I'm glad you're feeling better.
I'm
Well,
doing.
somewhat better.
Um,
Good. Good.
I will. I guess I wanna tell a story. I kind of wrote them down.
Okay.
I don't have a whole bunch because I've already said the really good ones on my channel.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember when I was a little younger, middle school, you have your little best friend girlfriends. And I used to go to
Mm-hmm.
one of my friends, her name was Jenna. I used to go to her house, and it used to actually be used for a daycare. So it was a big house.
Ooh.
And it was older, and it was just very creepy. And you could just feel like someone was watching you, in the house or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
there was times where I would have to go all the way back into her room. And one time I was walking into the room, and one of the toys that she had, like a stuffed animal, was kind of like in this playpen thing, and it started moving by itself, and I heard it move, and I saw it move, and it freaked me out. I ran out of there as fast as I could. I don't even know why I kept going back over there. I knew her house was haunted. And then one time we were sleeping in the living room, and we couldn't get to sleep. So we had to, turn the TV on, so it made us feel a little better. But as we're watching TV, it just shuts off by itself. And we're like, what the crap? So we turn it back on. And then it tries to shut itself back off. And we're like, forget this. We're just going to go to your room and stop freaking out. Like, it really scared us. She even called her mom and was like, Mom, we swear to God the TV shut off by itself. And And, I was probably like maybe 12,
Creepy.
13 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I walked into her room and it said, like, she had a fan and it kind of had, the little the string that you pull for the fan. Well, she had this little cute, tiny stuffed animal tied to it so you can grab it better. And I walked into her room one day and there's no fans, no AC wasn't kicked on at the time, and it was just swinging back and forth by itself. Like someone hit it, and it scared.
Whoa.
I ran out of there. Her
Oh, I
house
bet.
was so haunted. I feel like I got lucky because so far everywhere I've lived, I haven't really had a lot of ghost activity.
Okay. Do you think you're haunted?
No, no.
Good.
I'm, I'm very spiritual, and I always sage my house. And like when we sleep, I put red ribbons. I tie red ribbons to all the beds because it's supposed to protect you from negative, entities from being able to mess with you. Actually,
Okay.
this it happened last night. My stepdaughter, she ran out and she's like, I think our house is haunted. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, I was laying on my bed and she had this cute little vase on her side table. And she said all of a sudden
Mm-hmm.
she just heard a big crash and it was broken on the floor. And she's like, I promise you I did not hit it.
Whoa.
I did not touch it. Nothing. And today, that happened last night. And then today, I'm talking to her, and she brought it up again. And I was telling her about, well, I can go pray in your room for you. I can go sage it. I can tell whatever might be in there. They're not welcome. They need to leave. And then she goes, and then I started talking to her about, and then all of a sudden she goes, well, that ribbon that you put on my bed, it fell off a couple nights ago. I'm like, what? Why didn't you tell me? So that ribbon was off her bed, and then that happened.
Whoa. So you think that ribbon is keeping the activity down in her room?
Yes, yes.
That's crazy, man. You need to get cameras. You need to get like cameras and like
But that's like the only.
record it and post it on your channel and be like,
But that's like only the worst. The only other thing that happened here was, you know, it's only happened like twice in my life, but y'all might think I'm crazy. I don't know. I don't think y'all will because this is a horror community and stuff. But I was cooking one night, and I was frazzled, and I was going back and forth, to the oven, to the sink, to the counter,
right.
and I went to turn around to set something on the dinner table, and I was stopped because I saw this man just standing there, and he was in a World War I uniform, like a soldier, and he had his arm kind of outstretched a little bit like he wanted to tell me something. And me, I don't open myself up to that stuff. I try not to. So all I said was, and it's weird because it's not like you talk to them with your mouth. It's like in your head. And I told him, I said, no, go away. I don't want to talk to you. And then he disappeared. So, and it was only for like a split second. And that's the only other thing that's happened in this house. But it was very weird.
Wow. That's still kind of crazy though. Like you got to see a full figure
Yes.
apparition.
Yes. Usually the only other time was when my old apartment, My refrigerator was kind of at the end of the kitchen, and
Mm-hmm.
I went to go open the fridge, and all of a sudden this woman in white pops up, and it scares me. It's the first time I've seen, like an actual apparition or spirit or whatever. And she popped up in front of me, and I went, like that. And then I heard her say, like in my head, be careful on your drive. Because the next day, I was driving to Alabama from Florida. And
Oh wow.
yeah,
That's a drive.
so I was like, she was, I guess, warning me to be extra careful. So I was, and nothing happened, of course. But just weird stuff. And I've had really weird experience with
That's
people and ghosts. It gives me
it's
chills.
funny, like
It gives me chills.
the other day I was saying like on my Twitter and like my Discord that I wasn't feeling right? Like I had this weird impending sense of something, right?
Mm-hmm.
On our drive down to or up to Vermont last week, we almost got into an accident. My whole family, because this driver was going between lanes without a blinker, and I turned on my blinker. I went to a lane. I couldn't see them, and then I go in a lane, and they must have turned into the lane as I did, so I originally didn't see them, and they came up right on the ass of the butt of the car, and put on their high beams.
Oh, that's.
They were speeding. They put on their high beams because I guess I blocked their path, but I didn't see them, and because I didn't have they weren't in the lane. There was nobody in the lane. That's why I went into the lane. And they must have gone in the lane. They were speeding because I heard it, and I look back, and they're just right there. They turn on their high beams. So they go around. So I speed up a little bit. Not much fast. I have my baby in the car, and I don't want an
Yeah.
accident. So I'm approaching the car in front of me. There's a car in front of me, and I'm approaching it, and this truck went into the lane next to me, went up in front of me, and now we have like a little less, like not a lot of space between me and the car in front of me. Like this truck just barely fit in, and
Wow.
I'm still speeding up a little bit, and they go right in front of me, slam their brakes, then drive off, and we almost went. We were less than an inch from hitting them. It was just I don't know why they were acting that way, but yeah, man,
Well,
it was.
that's creepy.
It was
Because how the world is
but
today, it could have been like someone trying to corner you or something to rob you or hurt y'all, or I don't know, something. It's scary.
it is.
But that kind of happened to me because I know we're getting kind of off subject of ghosts and stuff like that, but a while back
We
when
really are.
a while back in Alabama, I was so fuming. I almost got out of my car and cursed this girl out. But unfortunately, at the light, there was a police officer directing traffic. And I put my blinker on and I get into the left turning lane. And she doesn't even look to see if, like, I'm getting in at the end of the turning lane. So I have all the right of way. She's kind of at the beginning of the turning lane. And she just zips over into the turning lane. And I had to brakes so hard that my car shut off. And I had my baby in the car.
Wow.
It took, and I wouldn't recommend this to anyone, y'all, at all. But I followed her a little bit, just kind of freak her out, but because I was so upset. But I thought, okay, I gotta stop. So I left them alone. But it was just, people are idiots. They don't care
Bro,
about.
there are some really bad drivers who
Yes.
just don't care
And when I drive,
for
I
the
think
people.
about that person, and if something happens to them, their whole family. You know what I'm saying? And I just.
Yeah.
Why are y'all saying the stream's haunted? What's going on? What's going on? Y'all tell me. I see a lot of people
I don't
saying
know.
the stream is haunted. The audio is being weird. What happened?
YouTube just told me Raven's stream was offline, but it isn't, and how ironic you were talking about the paranormal.
Okay.
And then you said hi all, and then I guess then
Yeah.
PA said interesting.
It's
And CCG said I should have screenshot it,
oh.
but then I come down here.
Oh, someone. Yeah, I think.
And Lynn says, "What was that audio?" Did
Yeah.
everyone else hear someone else other than Matt? Oh,
I think it was his
you
wife.
might have heard yeah, it was my wife in the background
I think she stepped
commenting on this
in or something.
story.
Oh, she's listening.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh no, she's calling me.
She realized I was on a live stream. I think she just thought I was talking with someone, and huh?
What's going on? Okay. Are you
Well-
still there, Matt?
I'm still here.
Okay.
Like
let's-
someone called you on the phone or on Discord?
Oh no, on the phone. Did you hear it vibrating? I was like, who's calling me?
No,
No. I feel like
no.
you hear everything, but then when you get on stream, you don't really hear a lot of background noise. So that's good.
I've noticed that. Yeah. But yeah, no, that voice was my wife, guys. It's not haunted. My wife.
Yeah. Well. Okay. There's
It's haunted by my
another.
wife.
Haunted by your wife. Don't say that. It's funny. Okay, so let's see. When I used to live in Alabama at my mom's house, she still lives in it. This house I grew up in. That's the house that I was in my bedroom and I was home alone because she was out playing bingo or something, and it was late because she used to love to go to the what is it called? Crap, I can't think of it. The American Legion. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I
Okay.
know what the American Legion is.
So it was like 12 o'clock at night, and I was a little bit younger. I would say like 15, 16 or something. And I heard someone call my name.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you my name. Maybe I'll just put in a fake name here. But I heard someone go, Sarah. And I'm like, am I hearing crap? And I heard again, Sarah. And I'm like, oh my God. And I look out the window and there's no one there. And I thought maybe it was like a friend or something that came over and was trying to mess with me. But no, it wasn't. It scared me though. And
Wow.
I think I've told the one about in that house. There's a lot, y'all. Because the house next door to us was so super haunted that we would joke and say that the ghost from that house would come over and visit our house. And a lot of times it was a big house, so they had a lot of kids. The renters and stuff that would come and go. And so I'd make friends with the kids and stuff. But it's sad. It's like no one stays in that house for more than
Really? It's
yeah,
that haunted? Wow.
yeah.
That's kind of creepy, man.
It
Um,
was just like a rotating door. You know, people come and then they have
jeez.
experiences, I guess, like me, and then they would leave. So I don't know. It.
Well,
Sorry. Go ahead.
when I was up in Vermont, no, no, you're fine. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Like, the audio is being kind of janky on me. It's not you, it's just my cord. Huh?
Yeah.
Um, when I was up in Vermont, I decided to see, like, what happened to the house I grew up in.
Oh.
You know, where a lot of those stories take place. And turns out, um, it's been turned into apartments. So
Oh.
I sit here and wonder if anybody else experiences anything weird. It kind of keeps me up at night 'cause I'm like, huh. Wonder if anyone else like
That must have been a
has
really big house.
has experienced what I experienced. Oh yeah, the thing was huge. It was like 8 bedrooms.
Was
Uh,
it like a see
let me see.
I love old houses that people, you know, renovate kind of back to its
Mhm.
natural beauty.
Mhm.
Like you said, it was in the 1800s, right? It was built in the 1800s.
Yes, the
Beautiful.
original piece of the house. It
Yeah.
was built in the 1850s. Um, it had 4 bedrooms upstairs, a dining room, a living room, a wood stove area, and a bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
and a hallway uh, that was. Uh, I think it was just originally just a wall, but they built into the basement from there and made a entrance there to the
Yeah.
basement. But the original entrance for the basement was outside, so it was like a lawn, farm. It was an 1850s farming house, man. Had a lot of
Wow.
bedrooms upstairs, and one of the bedrooms when I lived was the original kitchen, and it still had the original sink in it. The original sink. The area where the oven, or not oven, but what they would use back then to cook with, was built into cabinets. But yeah, no, the original sink was still there with the original plumbing. So it was a sight to see. Um, but the worst thing about that house, though, I think, was all the ghosts. Honestly, I think it was a beautiful house, but there was always this energy, and this energy would shift depending on who was there at that
Yes.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
Some ghosts had a really negative energy, and then others would have a very positive energy. And then there was one that just kind of had like didn't have any kind of energy to it, but was very loud. The people in the basement, as I
Oh
call
wow,
them.
the people in the
Um,
basement. What would they do? Like bang
yeah,
around or walk around or there's a lot of times that
yeah. So
it's
like, I think it's a residual.
yes, that's what I was about to say. And if it keeps happening the same way and at the same time and all that, it's just their energy that they left
Yeah,
behind.
I'm pretty sure it's residual.
I'm reading the chat too.
And the time would change. You're fine. You're fine. So pretty much. Okay. Oh, wow. There's a lot of chat going on.
I know. I keep kind of
Yeah.
looking
So what would
over.
happen?
I don't know what Victor's talking about.
Uh, I don't know.
Jake.
Anyway, so sorry. Um, what would happen is we'd be like just sitting there watching TV, maybe making dinner. I don't know. It would
Uh
this,
huh.
this would happen at any time of day, but not on the same day. Sometimes it happened twice a month. Sometimes it happened once every 3 months. But what would happen is we would just be sitting there or doing something, and then all of a sudden you would hear people working in the basement. And by working, I mean you would hear the tools hitting the floor in there.
Oh my
You would hear them
gosh.
talking. You would hear them walking around. You'd hear them bang on the wall. The ceiling of the ceiling of the basement, the floor. Um, yeah, you would hear them like it would sound like people were working in the basement on some kind of project, and
That's so freaking
um,
creepy.
you know, I decided one day to. I was a 14-year-old once, right?
Oh.
Believe it or not, I was a kid, and I had just gotten done watching Ghost Adventures. Just
Mm-hmm.
gotten done watching Ghost Adventures, and what does Zach Bagans like to do? He loved to egg on the ghost, right? So
Well, the rude people do, but
like,
you're 14, so you didn't know better,
yeah.
you know?
No, I was easily impressioned. And
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna egg on these ghosts. So I go over to the center of the floor, which is right up to where you would hear this the loudest.
Mm-hmm.
And so like everything stopped. And for like 10 seconds, it's just silence.
Oh
There's
my gosh.
nothing. And then it comes back even louder.
You were making it
I thought
mad. That's what that was.
it was making them very mad. And then I think I heard one of them start yelling. Like one of the voices got really loud. I think they were yelling. Um
Mm-hmm. Um,
so yeah, I learned that day not to bother them.
yeah, you have to be respectful to ghosts and spirits
Oh
because,
yeah.
I mean, it's just like picking on someone that can't help themselves, you know? They just want to be at peace.
Right.
So, hold on one second,
And
y'all.
I was a kid.
I gotta go get my Taco Bell. I don't think my
I'll
husband
entertain
knows
them.
it's outside, so hold on, okay?
It's okay.
Hold on.
I will entertain them.
Okay, hold on.
Hello everybody. So that was the story about the ghost in the basement. But see, it didn't just happen one time. This would happen many times. Um and it was always, at a different time, different day, but it was always the same thing. You would hear them working down in the basement. And I would go down after it was over to see if anything had been moved, had been touched, had been messed with. Um, and nothing would be messed with. Um, I would even check the windows, whatnot, all locked. The windows were so small, although no person could actually fit through them. So like there's really no explanation to it. Uh, and you would hear individual voices with individual tones. You can never really hear what exactly they were saying, but there was definitely like different conversations going on. Um, you know, one of the ghost stories that really hits home for me was the ghost of my grandmother after she passed away. She had passed away in this pink robe that she loved. It's very comfy too. It had a nice I don't know if it was cotton or it was I can't think of the name of it, but it was something that was very comfortable, and she loved this pink bathrobe. Um, and she also came with a pair of pink slippers that were made out of the same thing. And she passed away in this, and it was very unexpected. Um, she knew she was passing away because she had cancer, but then one day, some stuff happened, and it was a very tragic way to pass. I'm just gonna say that, and I wasn't affected by grief like most people are. Most people when they see someone pass away, they're sad and they cry and they go through some stage of grief and mourning. Um, I unfortunately did not, and so I never really cried about her death. Never really, uh, you know, never really. It didn't really affect me, to be honest. Um, but that night, some stuff went down. Her alarm clock went off at 3 in the morning. Um, Stuff was being moved around a lot. Like one of her cookie jars was moved. Like it was moved from the shelf where it had originally been sitting. Um, um, Sorry, I was reading the chat. And some other stuff. I saw her apparition quickly move from one room to another.
Who are
I
you
quickly saw
talking
her in
about?
the kitchen. I am talking about my grandmother passing away. The night
Okay.
she passed away,
Okay.
some stuff went down. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I didn't get to grieve and mourn like most people. It actually like her death, like it was sad to lose her, but I didn't like go through like a full like grieving mourning stage because it didn't like affect me like most people, losing a loved one does, especially a motherly figure. And so I had a pretty clear head the night she passed because my mother was, she was in full grief. She just lost her mom. So
You
my
had to be
grandmother died.
strong for your mama. Right?
Yeah, yep, and that's pretty much what it was. My brother and my mom, that I had to be strong for them, so I had a very clear head.
Lynn asked you a question.
How do I know her sleepwear was comfortable? Because I would hug my grandmother when she was wearing it, because she'd wear clothes and then she'd wear the bathrobe on top just for like comfort or extra heat or something. But yeah, like it had a very comfortable fabric from hugging her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's yeah. Anyway, so how do you know her sleeper was comfortable? I don't know. Maybe I hugged her. Nah, it's all good. Thank you for the question. I'm kind of a jokester, so I take questions and like to turn them around and joke on them. It's nothing, I'm just having fun. Anyway, so that night she passed away. One of her favorite cookie jars was moved from its original spot. My mother was in bed. Her husband was in bed. My brother was well into bed at that point. I didn't sleep. I think that's how the grief hit me. It wasn't like I didn't sit there crying. I just kind of like, just stayed up because I knew what would happen and I knew something weird would happen, and I was right. So her favorite cookie jar was moved from its shelving that was about 10 feet from 12 feet from the table where she died. Don't be sorry, Lynn. It's okay. The cookie jar had been moved right to where she sat on the table.
Wow.
And you could see the dust ring from where it was sitting on the shelf. We had to throw away the original chair because I said she passed away tragically. There was a lot of blood involved. So we had to throw away the original chair she sat in, that she was sitting in when she passed. So this thing was sitting right in her spot. This cookie jar was right in the
It was
spot
probably
where she had
her.
on the table. Oh yeah. Oh, and then in the kitchen, like some utensils were moved around, and now everyone's in bed at this point. I was just like hearing this, and from my bedroom, because my bedroom's right next to the living room. It's a living room kitchen. It was the extension that was built on in the 70s on the house. So you had the living room, the kitchen, and then like one of the little area where my grandmother sat, put her table and whatnot to eat. and whatnot, but my bedroom was in the original part that it was actually like it's supposed to be like a little study room, but I turned it into my bedroom, and it's right next to the entrance to the kitchen, the new extension.
Okay.
And yeah, it's okay, Lynn. It was a joke. I know you're all good. Um, I promise. I
I'm
didn't take it
very
seriously.
silly. You'll have no idea how silly I am.
Oh man, I am too. I'm just trying to like keep. I have to keep in my own thoughts so I don't keep extending these stories forever. But essentially, just a bunch of weird stuff. I saw her apparition go
Okay.
from the extension from the older part of the building because her room was the. So I mentioned earlier on that in the original part of the house there was the original kitchen. Well, this original kitchen was turned into a bedroom for my grandmother after she couldn't get up the stairs anymore. Um, so she was in that bedroom, that room, and it's in the hallway of the original building, the original farmhouse. And I saw her apparition go from the living room to into the hallway towards her bedroom. So there was that, and then I saw her again go from the doorway. Like she wasn't in the doorway; she was going through into the newer part of the housing. I saw her apparition just quickly go in there, and then I'm seeing it like my mom's asleep, all of them are asleep, but my grandmother raised me to know that ghosts exist, and you need to
Yes.
respect them, and you need to, you know, uh, uh, leave them alone if you can, interact if you want, but you gotta remember that there's consequences with it. I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah. The more
but
you
she
interact,
she warned me.
the
She
more you
warned me that when she
interact,
passes away.
the
Oh,
more
go
you will
ahead.
have experiences.
Oh yeah, no, it's so true. It's so true. That's why I don't interact anymore. Like I try not to, because I try to keep the activity
Thanks,
down for
Jake.
myself.
I don't know how to say your name, but I hope that's how you say it. Jake.
I think it's Jakey T.
Jakey T31. I'm just gonna call you Jake. I hope
Yeah.
that's how you say your name. But that's sweet.
Anyway, but my grandmother warned me that when she passes away from the cancer, she was gonna come back full force, and she was gonna let me know it. And she
She
did. She
did.
moved stuff around in the
She did.
kitchen. She moved a cookie jar. I saw her 3 times. She slammed a door. She slammed the bathroom door.
Giving me
She
chills.
threw a pan. She threw a pan, across
pan?
the kitchen. A
That's
pan.
like
Yeah.
poltergeist stuff.
Oh yeah, man. She was
Wow.
ready to go, but she wanted to make sure that we knew that she was still around.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
I think she kept on fucking with the cats too. Pretty sure. I could be wrong, but they kept
Yeah.
on hissing at something. Kept on
Yep.
hissing, attacking at something that wasn't there. So,
That
and then, but
happened
like
to
after
me.
that night, none of this stuff ever happened like that. So that's how I know it was probably her.
Oh, so it was just one night that she wanted to show you she was there, and then that was it?
Yeah, the night she passed.
Aw.
Yeah. No,
Probably saying
it's a good
bye,
thing.
you know?
Yeah, that's how I was saying bye. Because I remember 2 years prior to her death, she was cleaning the litter box, and I found her passed out next to it. She had just passed out suddenly. She didn't hit her head or anything. She was just there doing it and then passed out. When she came to, she's like, "I saw my mother. Our
Yep.
mother's been dead since like 1989. This is like 2010. Um,
That happened to
so we're
my
talking about
grandma.
21-year difference.
She
Yeah.
she told my mom when she was passing away she had bone cancer. And she told my mom she sees her brother, and he's been gone for a while. And I truly believe that when you're about to die, your loved ones come and get you, because there's so many stories of people seeing and talking crazy right before they pass away of seeing their loved ones there.
Yeah.
So, and my mom knew. She said, "Go ahead and go. We'll be fine. I love you." And then not even I'm not joking, y'all. 40 minutes later, she passes away. It was very sad. And I didn't get to say goodbye to her, and I was upset. Jacket. That's what he says. It's like jacket. That's what Jake
Oh,
said.
Jack YT. Jacket. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's okay. This is what I think. I think he changed his username because I swear his username used to be your ex-husband or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah. And so
Okay.
he is an OG that's always been on my channel from the beginning, and that's why he is a
Okay.
you know, what are those called? I can't even think right now.
Mod.
That's why he's a mod.
I think it's a.
So I think it might be him. Can you verify with us,
Could be.
Jacket? I just, and that's why Flagler America is also a mod. Where are you at? Have you put?
Okay,
Aren't you a
okay.
mod on here? I think you are. I put
No, I'm not.
my closest YouTube friends as a mod, but where's your name? I don't see you.
I haven't typed much.
Matt.
No, I'll tell you.
Oh, you gonna say something so I can?
Yeah, no, I'm not a mod.
Okay. Oh well, I'm so sorry. PA night.
Make me a mod. It's fine.
PA Nightmare is a mod. Jensen's a mod. I have As the Raven Dreams a mod. But it's I don't want to put everyone as a mod. I just want people I really trust and that I talk to a lot to be mods but sorry. I feel bad.
Why? Why? Why do you feel bad for?
Jacket said, "No, ma'am, that's not me."
Oh.
Then where did he
You have a
go?
mystery.
Where did
You have
he
a
go?
mystery.
He always posted on all my videos. And
Has he been active
I
lately?
don't know. I hope he's okay. That's kind of creepy. Because, yeah, I was trying to add him as a moderator, so I went back to my earliest videos when he started, see? And even Jacket said he's familiar with his post, because he's seen his post, I guess, on my videos. And I went back, and it's not
Yeah,
there.
I've seen him.
Maybe he deleted? I don't know. I'll have to go check again. But, yeah. I know, it's weird.
I
I don't know
do
what
you know
to
what
say.
his Twitter handle was?
No. But, anyways, back to the ghost stories. Okay, I have some more.
Okay. Oh, he deleted his
Why?
account a while ago, according to Raven.
Hey, Lucas.
That's unfortunate, man.
Yeah, that's weird. Why? Do you know why he did? That sucks. Because he was funny. But, anyways, back to the ghost stories. Also in Alabama,
Yes.
there is a battleship called USS Alabama. And
Yep.
I've been on it a couple times, but the times I have been on it, I've had I haven't seen, but I've heard weird stuff. I remember
Really?
one time, it wasn't busy. There wasn't that many people in there. So it was kind of like really quiet, and it was just us walking around. And all of a sudden, I hear like soldiers or sailors or whatever, like a group of them yelling at each other, "Run, run, run, go, go, go." And then I would hear like fast steps, like they were running up the stairs. And I heard that, and I'm like, oh my God, did you hear that? And no, they didn't, but I heard it.
Wow.
And it freaked me out a little bit. But I knew, kind of around that time, I knew that was very sensitive, just to hearing ghosts and seeing ghosts and all that crap. So, it was creepy. And there was a lot of other YouTube channels that I follow, like TFIL, Omar Gosh, all of them. And they will say, hey, what should we, explore next? And I always put a comment, go to USS Alabama. I think Omar Gosh did, but it is haunted. It is haunted. I've heard doors slam. I've heard, the people running up the stairs. I've heard, like, people coughing, but there was no one around us. It was really weird.
I believe you 100%.
Have you been there?
I've never been to the USS. I haven't. It's on my list, but I have read, 30, 40 different accounts of people hearing similar or even the same things as you at
Really?
the USS Alabama.
Oh,
And I
I didn't.
remember, yes, and I
That's
remember
cool.
as a kid, I used to watch I think it was the Travel Channel at my grandmother's, the same grandmother's I was at
Yeah.
last week when we would sit there and she had like basic cable and we would watch Travel Channel, and the one thing we would watch together is give me one moment. We would watch the Travel Channel, and it would be about ghost stories and haunted places. And this is actually, what piqued my curiosity into, going onto YouTube and listening to narrators, because I would listen to this guy, narrate, these experiences for the Travel Channel. And
Yeah.
one of the episodes takes place on the USS Alabama, and
Yeah.
essentially it was just grand visuals with, a brief history of the ship
Yep.
and a bunch of people's experiences being told, except for TV. So it was just like, a much more grandeur looking,
See?
YouTube narration. And
Man, that validates me. I was like, that's so cool.
yes, yeah. One of the things I remember them mentioning, I can remember the guy's voice. He's got this deep old man's voice. You've heard him on many things. I bet you 10. He's like one of those, voices that gets around on like everything. On
Yeah.
television programs. I can't remember the name of the voice actor, but
It's
you've heard
okay.
him. I bet you 10 to 1. But one of the stories he mentions is about people hearing people yelling on the ship.
Yeah.
Hearing footsteps running.
Yep.
People climbing up the ladders.
Yep.
People, gunshots being fired. Yeah.
That's-
So I believe you. I 100%.
Yeah, I just heard them running up the steps and ladders, and you can hear the clanking, because it's all metal in there.
Yeah.
But
Like the boots hitting that metal makes that distinct, clink, 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 clink as they're
and them
going up.
yelling at each other like they were getting ready for a battle, like getting to their stations or something. That's what it seemed like.
Oh, Jacket mentions in chat that they had the USS Lexington, and that's haunted as hell in Texas. And yes, another one of those episodes takes place at the Lexington, and a lot of it's the same. People hearing the soldiers moving through the, remnants of battles.
Yeah. Yep. It could just be.
People hearing voices talking, and it's a lot of residual
Yeah.
energy, I think.
And
My
it probably
theory.
happens
It's just a lot
every
of-
single time, And I was just
Oh,
there at the
yeah.
right time.
Oh
But-
yeah. The thing about residual energy is it doesn't always happen at the same day every month, or the same week every month, or the same time on that day.
Mm-hmm.
It can have her.
Well, I had another.
I forgot
as,
to say hi, Raven.
As we were, talking about this, it just clicked too. Also in Alabama, we have a Fort Morgan. It was
Yep, Fort Morgan.
Fort Morgan. It was a fort and I don't remember the history. I'm sorry, y'all, but it was
I
awesome.
believe it was a Civil War.
Yeah.
Let me see. I can look it up
We
while we talk. Fort Morgan,
we
Alabama.
used to go there all the time because there's docks out there to fish. I grew up on the beach, and we're out there all the time fishing. And so us kids would go to the fort and we used to have so much fun, climbing the walls,
Mm-hmm.
going into the scariest places. It was like just an old fort. Sorry, there's a
Mm-hmm.
motorcycle.
No, you're fine.
And,
Um, when you said Fort Morgan,
mm-hmm.
I recognized it. This is why I recognized it because I did a lot of Civil War history research in high school,
Oh,
and
wow.
Fort Morgan was one of the few places that was active during four wars: the Civil
Mm-hmm.
War, the Spanish American War, and
Mm-hmm.
both World Wars.
It's
But
still
it's
there.
most known for the Battle of Mobile Bay
Yeah.
during the Civil War. And that's why I was like, Fort Morgan. That sounds super familiar.
But I've had experiences in there too, it's really haunted. I've felt like someone was watching me. One time we there's a spot in the fort where it has stairs that just keep, and to me it's like
Hmm.
four flights of stairs, but it's just in one straight long line. And it kind of goes up this big hill. And I was walking up
Okay.
there, and we got to the top, and thank you, Lynn. And all of a sudden, we heard footsteps coming towards us, but there was no one there. We ran from these footsteps all the way down,
Really?
all the way down the staircase.
Whoa.
And it was behind us, y'all. I could hear it running behind us. It scared us so bad that I
Did any
might
of you
have.
look back?
I meant, hell no. But there wasn't anyone there. Like, when we started to run, we looked and we could hear the footsteps moving towards us, but there was no one there. And so they kept moving towards us, and we're like, we didn't even communicate to each other. We just looked, heard, and we're like, go, go, and we just started running down. And it was behind us. And then when we got to the bottom, yeah, we looked at the stairs and there was no one
Wow.
there. And that's something that that's the one that I remember. I'm sure little things happened here and there, but that's the main one that I
Hmm.
remember from Fort Morgan. But yeah, there's
Um.
at Fort Morgan, on some of the steps, there's still
Hmm.
blood. There are stains on the steps. Supposedly there was a soldier. This was
Oh.
that they told us. They got his head chopped off and his head rolled down the steps. And they said those little splats and stuff that go down the steps, that's from the soldier's head bleeding everywhere. And that's
Ooh.
creepy. And the blood's still there. It's really dark now. It looks more like a stain, like a browner stain, but
Hmm.
that's what it was blood. I remember.
Right.
Ugh. So y'all need to go check out Fort Morgan if you ever go to Alabama. Orange Beach, Gulf
Well,
Shores.
I'm pretty close to Alabama. Maybe I'll check it out sometime. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Um, you know, the scariest experience. Well, okay. I'm gonna give you a recent one that nobody knows about because it happened
Okay.
just either last night or the night before.
Good. I want to hear it.
So we keep we we keep my son's bedroom door open at all times. When he's sleeping, he's awake, it stays open. Of course, he's only in there when he sleeps because it's where his crib is. We don't like have him play in his room. We have him play in the living room because he has more space and he loves to move around because he's a baby. Um,
Toddler.
so we keep his bedroom door open, and it cannot. Ooh, sorry, Yeah, and that door cannot close on its own. Um, it's never closed on its own the entire year and a half we've been here. It's
Mm-hmm.
never closed on its own. It's never moved on its own.
Is it hard to close?
Um, even when the no, it's not hard to close, but just where it is in conjunction to the AC and to the floor AC, floor vent and the window, it just no wind hits it. And like, we actually had his window wide open once, and a storm blew through, like a really heavy wind move in the house, and uh, door still did not shut or move itself. Okay, so it's a pretty, like, for some reason it just doesn't like to shut. I know it's just like in that weird perfect spot, right? Um, I've even tried, you know, other ways to close it and whatnot. Just nothing. It just likes to, just stays open, stays that way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my wife doesn't know about this because I don't tell her when things happen around the house because I don't want her to get freaked out.
Yeah, and then
Because,
when
like,
you're
she
not
knows
there,
that.
she might freak herself out.
Yeah, exactly. But she does know that things happen around this house.
Okay.
She does know I pick up on it. She has experienced it. She accepts it. But, I just don't tell her about everything that happens because I don't want her to freak herself out. I don't want her to, be here alone with the baby and be scared the whole time to do anything. Of ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
But the other night, she put him to bed.
Mm-hmm.
I was out in the living room. She put him to bed. So I went out to the living room. I was coming from the bedroom. She goes into the bedroom, into our master bathroom. I'm sitting out on the couch. It's only me. I have the monitor out there with me because we have a baby monitor. So we watch him sleep to make sure he's always, okay. And I'm sitting out there with it. I'm looking at it. Just
Mm-hmm.
nothing weird happening. So I put it down. Play on my phone. I hear a door shut. And
There was no one in there.
yeah, there was no one in there. I looked at the monitor. Nothing. He's still sleeping. He's sleeping fine. He's sleeping like a baby. Um, my wife. I go and I get up, and I'm like, I hear a door shut, and I'm like, I didn't know if it was like my wife going to the bathroom or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
I go look, door shut, to the bathroom. I'm like, hey, honey, did you just shut this door? She's like, no, it's been shut. I'm like, okay. So I go and I look into my son's room, and I realize his door's been shut. So I open it. All right, and I go back and I ask my wife, "You shut Zane's door? Like, why'd you shut Zane's door?" She's like, "I didn't shut his door. Why did you shut his door?" And I'm like, "I didn't shut his door. I'm
Oh
just
my
sitting on the
God.
couch. I just heard it shut." She's like, "That's creepy," and I'm like, "Yep, that
Yeah, that
happens in
is.
his room." Um, his room seems to be the active room in the house, and it wasn't planned that way. Okay, because a lot of
Well,
this stuff did not start happening until he was born.
do you
Um,
think? Do you think his great grandma is visiting him?
I think it's one of three people. All right, I think it
Mm-hmm.
could be either James Harner, the old man that lived here before the previous tenants before us. He passed away in the house. He was on full 24-hour care. People would have to come in to take care of him, specific nurses and whatnot. But like they decided for some reason to go 3 days without seeing him, and the poor guy passed away in that time because no one was there to tend to him. And
Oh, that's horrible.
oh, that's it's terrible. It's truly fucking terrible. I hope whatever nurses it was got fired because that's not okay. Because you don't let someone die just because you don't want to check on them. They didn't like to come in and check on him. Like that was the thing. I was told that they did not like to come in and check on him. I don't know if he was just a rude old man or whatever, but they just did not like to take care of him.
Oh,
And so
that's
he passed away in the house at that point.
uh-huh.
Um, it could also be my wife's brother who
Oh.
passed away. I think like 5 years ago. I don't know. He was 15. He would have been 21, so 6 years ago, I think. Or it could be my grandmother,
Yeah.
Zane's great grandmother. It's one of those three. I have seen the figure. I've seen a figure that appears. You already know this story, but it doesn't really match anyone that. It wouldn't
You
match
know of?
her brother, and it wouldn't match my grandmother. Yeah. It would, but activity, man. God, I saw a pair of hands once
Oh my gosh.
reach down for my son in over the monitor, but I could tell they weren't human hands. I could tell they weren't human hands because I could see through them. That's how I didn't. That's why I didn't like freak out because I could see him reaching in to grab him. Like they, when you reach a baby, when you grab for a baby, you go with both hands. Yeah, that's what I saw. And it
Do you
reached
have
down
that
for him.
recorded?
I didn't record it. No, I don't. It's
God,
not
that's
that
so
kind of
creepy.
monitor.
Sorry.
It's just like a night vision camera. It's a basic
Oh.
night vision camera.
Okay.
But I could see. Let's see. I've seen orbs flying around his crib now with orbs. Usually like a little, maybe it's a bug on the night vision camera, so maybe it's a speck of dust or something, But this was weird because it went around his crib in a perfect circle 3 times. Then it went up.
They were
And it
looking.
went
They were looking
straight
at
down
him.
into him.
Yeah, maybe give him
Yeah.
a hug or something. I don't know. That's so.
I don't know, but it went straight down into him,
Has there ever
then
been any hostile?
about the side, going through the bars. No,
Ooh,
no.
then it must.
I've never seen anything hostile. It's never done anything to bother my
Okay.
son. It's never done anything to bother us. Actually, I've seen it interact with my son. I didn't see the figure, but my son. One day I was watching him. He had woken up. And I was watching him over the monitor, and he was reaching up and talking to something. Like when he
Yeah.
wants to be picked up, he reaches up. He leans his body against the bar and he reaches upwards. Like most toddlers do, and reaching for someone that wasn't
There.
there.
Yep. My son did that.
And yeah, and it's freaky, man. Every
My
time, like
second son.
even if you expect it to happen, man, it's still weird,
Mm-hmm.
Now, I see that Jacket is mentioning a Bigfoot story.
Yeah.
Uh,
And Len almost made me spit out my drink. I was trying not to laugh while you were talking. She wrote
I hadn't shaved in a while.
that was yeah. That wasn't Bigfoot. Sorry, it was just me. That was so funny. That was so funny.
I don't know. Bigfoot's kind of one of those things that I'm very on the fence about.
Me too.
I
mean,
want to believe.
I
I want to believe,
I
but it's
want-
hard to believe.
like skinwalkers and all the other, unearthly things. I do believe in aliens, stuff like that, but the
those are-
monsters, I don't know about. I'm on the fence too.
Yeah.
It's like a maybe I
like-
believe in it,
Yeah, like Skinwalker, Bigfoot, Chupacabra, the well-known ones. I have trouble believing some of them because they're these really big, extraordinary claims. But
Yes.
with big, extraordinary claims, you need big, extraordinary evidence.
Exactly. So
The
to
problem
me,
with
they're more
Bigfoot,
like a
There's
creepy
never really been like
pasta
any
thing.
kind of big, extraordinary evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Bigfoot would be a really old creepypasta, though. We're talking about hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Kind of pasta.
Maybe
I
it's
mean, we
just-
know that.
Matt.
But it's the question is Gigantopithecus still living, alongside humans? That's really the question. It's not if Bigfoot was real. A Bigfoot-like creature did exist with humans at one point. The real question is,
But
does
is he
it
still
still
here?
exist?
Yeah. Is it still here?
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, we have some weird evidences, like footprints that, we have casts of footprints that would be impossible for someone to make unless they, took like
A mold or
they
something.
made it like out of wood or something and
Yeah.
implanted it. Yeah. And we do have hair samples of creatures that aren't in any databases, but that doesn't mean it's not, it is Bigfoot or it's not Bigfoot. And that's the thing is like, you know, I'm a believer that anything is possible. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Bigfoot could very well exist. You know, Gigantopithecus is really what it is. Um, I believe there's a chance because there's still many places on this planet that are still unexplored.
That is true.
Alaska,
Especially our oceans.
Alaska. Oh yeah.
Jacket, yes, shadow people and demons are real. I see shadow people all the time
Oh, I
out of
have
the
a few of
corner,
those stories.
out of the
Same.
corner of my eyes all the time. All the time.
Bro, I used to. I used to, man. Like, yes.
And
I
you
don't know
know,
about demons, but shadow
demons
people
are
are
real.
definitely.
I've had like 3 experiences with sleep paralysis and
Oof.
demons, but um to be honest, I feel like it was because of the negativity that
Hmm.
surrounded my childhood home,
Okay.
and then the negativity of my ex boyfriend. I felt like there was just evil attached, you know, just bad juju. And because
Hmm.
I don't, you know, I'm happily married and I don't have negative energy here, and I've never had that happen since I moved to Florida. It's raining.
Hmm. Is
Oh,
it?
yeah. AK is from Alaska. Well, she was originally from Alaska.
Alaska's a crazy place.
Well, my husband wants to go there. He wants to do like one of those Alaska tours, and I'm like, it's really cold. Are you crazy?
Well, funny enough, Alaska isn't all entirely cold. There are places there that are fucking cold though, but
Yeah.
not all of it's like.
A huge ice cube. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, speaking of Alaska and Bigfoot, even Les Stroud, one
Who?
of the most well-known survivor men of all time. Les Stroud,
I've
the
never heard
Survivor
of
Man.
him.
You've never
Probably.
heard of Survivor Man?
I probably
You don't
have. Let me see. You make
you
me
don't
want to
remember that show
Google.
Survivor Man? It was like
Was it on Netflix?
no. I mean, it might have been on Netflix at one point.
Oh, he died.
Just
Let's see.
what?
I think someone was just looking to see if he died. I don't think he did, though.
Oh yeah, no. Just look up Les
I
Stroud.
did. He's.
That might be.
He looks. Yes, I've sworn I've seen TV shows with him in it.
Okay, yeah. So he is a very big skeptic about um about Bigfoot. But he will tell you that while he was in Alaska, he had a really strange experience with Bigfoot. Um he's gone on record about it many times. Always told the same story, and that's why I believe it. And also in the Canadian wilderness, he's had one other strange experience there. That again, he's gone on record many times and always told the same story. I feel like we're getting a little off track with ghost stories. I'm
Oh, it doesn't
so
matter.
sorry. I'm really good
That's
at that.
that's the point. You know, I mean, you got to have kind of a focus for a stream, but then you just talk about, you know, hang with us, hang out, talk,
Yeah.
shoot the
Yeah.
shit, you know, and um
Oh yeah. I'll,
but
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get more coffee so I can
okay.
uh
I will tell them
lubricate my
I will tell them a
throat.
little story while you're gone.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right, y'all. I also had a story where I was a manager for like 10 years in, you know, shoe stores. And I used to work at this Easy Spirit in Alabama. And, you know, that place got a lot of old people that would come in. And sometimes it was sad that, you know, you get those customers that are, you know, they come back all the time. I can't think of the word. Sometimes you realize that something happened to them because they don't come back for a while. And I promise you, Easy Spirit was haunted. I would be in there at night closing by myself. And one time I was at the register doing something. And I heard, like at the front door, there's like these little grate things in the front door. So when someone walks over them, it kind of makes kind of a loud noise. Well, that happened. And me, I'm so used to ghosts and experiences and stuff where I'm just polite. You know, I know it sounds stupid, but I talked to the ghost. I said, "Oh, hi, how are you?" You know, and you know, let them know I knew they were there. And then a little while later, we had like all the shoes, you know, displayed on top of the bookcases and stuff. And I could hear the shoes being picked up and put back down. Like they were looking at shoes. And then there was this one time where I've heard boxes move. You know, the shoe boxes would rattle. Like you're being watched. The stockroom really creeped me out when I was back there by myself and had to like reorganize and stuff. It was just very creepy. Very creepy. I don't think anything else ever happened to any other stores that I worked in. But that story is just weird. It's scary. But you can't be scared. I just welcomed it, and they shopped, and it was just crazy to think that there was a ghost just walking around the store shopping. Matt?
That has been known to happen.
I was telling them about when I worked at Easy Spirit as a manager.
Okay.
I've had things happen.
I heard a little bit of it before I went off to grab coffee. I heard a little bit of the ending too.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to interrupt because you were in a good flow.
I was trying to explain it. I get kind of off track though. You know, I'm the person where someone says, tell your story, and then they're literally looking at me going, hurry up and get to the point, you know?
Yeah, sounds like good.
Matt, your mic's going in and out.
Extend it well beyond what it actually is. Huh. Yours has been a little bit, but I wonder if it's, can you hear me okay right now?
Yeah.
No? Okay. I don't
Jacket said, yeah, the demon story with your ex and his negative energy was crazy. Yeah, that was the most horrifying thing in my entire life. I thought about that crap months, and it was so scary that I was scared to think about it. That what if that demon was, you know, just hanging around and waiting for me to acknowledge it so it can just slip back in and harass me more. But Lynn, it was a shoe store. It was for older people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from
Okay.
40s to 60s. Lynn was asking a question about the store.
Yeah, I see.
So.
No, I think you actually told me about that story on my podcast when you came on.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Which is crazy. Like, it's weird. It's amazing and crazy at the same time how negative energy can conjure up and allow so many different things in.
Yeah.
And you know, it can make it hard because of any negative energy comes into your life. Oftentimes, if you're like you and I who experience this stuff
we're
kind of on
special.
a daily basis, almost.
Yeah,
we
empath.
we're a bit more sensitive to it, so we're easier for them to be like, oh, they have just former empaths, but still experience this stuff all the time.
Well, it's because we have a high vibration of energy, and they're attracted to it.
Yes.
And you have to, it's a thing. You know, some people don't believe in this stuff, but yeah.
When we were actually up in Vermont, we went to see my wife's former boss, who's also a family friend, and she does. Can't remember what it's called. It starts with an R.
Is it like a doctor?
Ru-
Reiki?
no, no.
Oh, no? Okay.
Reiki. That's
Reiki,
it.
yeah. I just didn't know
It's
how to
Reiki.
say it.
Yeah. She does that, and she was like, "Wow, man, you have a high like vibration frequency about you."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, I'm like really sensitive to ghosts. I thought she was gonna think I was crazy, but nope, quite the opposite.
Yep.
She lit her house that we went to. It's a generational house. Her grandparents built it and lived in it, and I guess the house is pretty haunted. And we talked for like, fuck, an hour and a
Hours.
half just about
Yeah.
ghost stories, man. And I even had some weird happen there when I was there. We weren't there long, but I didn't tell my wife about it or tell her friend about it. But I looked down the hallway because my son was roaming, but he went down the hall. He went down the hall to grab
Your
him. I
mic
just
cut
kinda looked
out.
up at a door for him. Oh, I'm sorry. My son was roaming
Oh,
her
okay.
hallway. Like he was roaming the room and went down to a hallway.
Okay.
And when I ran in to grab him, I felt like something was looking at me. So I look up as I'm picking him up into one of the doorways, and just peeking out, just a little bit, was a ghost. Like just like a shadow person, just peeking out a little bit, looking at me.
Wow.
And I was
Mm-mm.
like, "Yep, well, I believe her, like 100% now." Because I mean, I already believed her. She had no reason
Yeah.
to lie to me. She was very honest with me. But like when I saw it, it just like kind of struck home. I was like, "Wow, whoa," because it's like that moment, like you can.
There's some stuff in the chat that I want to touch on
Okay.
real quick
Go
before
ahead.
it goes away. Lynn, what type of empath are you? Are you for like medical empath? Animal empath?
Okay.
Also, Victor, Let's Read was one of my first narrators I ever listened to. And these stories, to be honest, I didn't even write them down. I'm not reading off a script. I'm just telling you my story raw from my head, and I don't like to write stuff down. I know it sounds kind of lazy, but it's kind of, any narrator is allowed to use my story if they want to. They just have to ask. But I only have a couple of my stories as my own personal stories. And a lot of times narrators will want to keep those stories just for their channels, not share them all around. But since, like me, I've already told most of my stories, I don't mind if, someone else wants to tell it on their channel. But that's, all I want to do. And also, Jacket, yes, I have a cat named Bentley, and he is still around. He passed away when my first son was 3 or 4. And if you go to TikTok, you can open that, what is it called? That, filter, and it'll kind of show you energy around, your house or your room or whatever, and people have actually caught stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I opened it one day,
Yes.
and I moved it around my room, and like right next to me, there was like a spot that was really red. Like there was a little spirit just sitting next to me, and I was like, my cat Bentley's laying next to me right now. It was just,
Aww.
I knew it was him, and I miss that cat so much.
So it looks like Lynn is an emotion empath with people living on dead. So she sucks up emotions, feels their emotions.
Oh, well, yeah.
And now,
That's the same thing.
Awesome.
I can do that too. You know, you can just read someone really well. You get like their sense of energy towards you. I can tell you, if I walk into a room, I can tell you who has really bad energy and they're not good people. So I'm sure you
Mm-hmm.
can too, Matt.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't call
I
myself a
can tell. I
psychic.
don't
I
even
wouldn't.
actually.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, for me, I don't even have to like actually meet them physically. Just talking to them, even over chat like this, I can tell.
Mm-hmm. There was
But
this
anyway, let's
girl.
continue. I'm sorry.
There was this girl I worked with at the prison. She was a fellow officer, and she was just rotten to the core. You know, I could just feel it. Like, she was just a bad person. And the last unit I worked at, we did the veterans, disabled veterans dogs. Like, where the inmates will train the dogs and then they pass
Mm-hmm.
them to veterans that need them.
Okay.
And the dogs, y'all, would even growl at her when we would have to go to each room and count the inmates. You know, we got to pet the dogs and stuff like that, but the dogs would growl at her. And they say animals will tell you who a person is, what
Mm-hmm.
type of spirit they
Oh
have.
yeah.
And yeah, that
You know,
I just
actually, there was something that Lynn said earlier too. That does anyone believe seeing a ghost animal? You know, like a former pet. Um, when you told your story about your cat that passed away, I actually have a story myself. I don't really talk about this one because kind of hits home.
oh, you
Uh,
don't have to talk about it
um,
if you don't want to.
no, no, I want to give you something that I want to give you something for your stream, and this is a good one. Growing up, I had two cats. Um, they were barn animals. They were barn kittens to start with. They lived in the barn that was across the street.
There was what?
Sorry,
I was reading
they were
Victor's
barn.
thing.
Yeah,
Were you too?
Lynn and Raven, excellent. You are both the type of that I need in Matt. All important. I would like to say that I'm glad to meet you all. I'll explain why in a bit, but as an early test, I don't want to. Um, okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Victor.
I don't know. I feel like that was a compliment for Lynn and Raven, and I was just kind of thrown in there. But
It's like, oh, I love
thank
them,
you.
but you're important too, Matt. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I'll explain in a bit, but as an early test, I don't want. Okay.
Uh-oh. What are we getting tested for? I think
I
we're
don't
pretty
know.
cool. I'm pretty chill. Anyways, okay, so
Um.
start from the beginning with your
Anyway,
cat story.
so my cats were originally barn. Use all your energy to guess how or why I became interested and learned about empaths to an extent, but I don't want to waste your energy. What? That's not how empathicness works. You don't just like use energy to be able to tell or guess why someone did something.
Well,
It's a
sort of.
feeling. It's a
Yeah.
feeling. I mean,
But
sort of.
you
Yeah,
know,
it's more of a
it's
feeling than
it's an um it's intuitive. I guess that's how you say it. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Like a sixth sense. I think
it's a
that's what
form.
he's saying. Word
Yeah,
count and Matt, the compliment was when you were all an empath. My
word count and math. The compliment was when you were all an empath. Oh, okay, okay. I see your compliment now. I'm really confused.
maybe he's doing research, or maybe he is a ghost hunter.
Maybe.
Uh-oh, speaking of the
Maybe.
prison, I want to hear some more of those stories, please. No. No. Okay. I promise. It's been in the back of my mind that y'all want to hear prison stories. And I'm going to write some stories out and I'm going to make a dedicated video to it. Okay? So that should be coming up soon, probably within the month. So look for it, okay? But I really don't want to give any more stories away. I want to save them for the video. So. But, Matt, go ahead with your cat story. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Okay. Well, I'm rereading what Victor said like 8 times now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still not getting what the test is, or even what he's trying to say. I'm sorry. It just the I'm just not getting it. But the
Well,
thing about
he's.
being an empath is we shouldn't have to be tested. That's
Yeah.
what's getting to me is
Well, it's
like,
okay.
and when someone's an empath, they know it. It's a feeling.
It's
So my
more.
cats. So my cats were.
Go ahead.
Oh no, please. They're just more. Okay. Um, my cats were. Okay. Um, my cats were barn kittens. We had a barn across the street from the house I grew up in. Um, this house that I keep talking about. It's that house. The original barn where they would have the animals and whatnot was still there up until 2013, 2014, and then they got rid of it. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe it was like 20. Maybe it was more like 2013. Um, so it was definitely after my grandmother passed away. But anyway, not the point. So they were originally barn kittens, and what had happened was the barn had become really unsafe, and their mother would go out and hunt. But 2 of the cats
Mm-hmm.
decided to hide underneath our house,
Okay.
and come to find out, one was stronger than the other, um, and and every day, one of the cats would drag out its sister into the sun so it would still get sunlight, and then leave it there while he would go hunt, and then bring her back food, and then drag her back underneath
Oh.
the building because she was so weak. Well, one
Oh.
day we noticed this. So one day we set up a trap to catch him because he was very protective of her, as
Yeah.
her kitten is, about its family at that point. We couldn't go near them. My grandmother tried, but the cat had, a stronger cat had gone and attacked her.
Oh my
Just trying to
gosh.
get her.
Yeah.
So we set up a trap. We caught him, and with her, she didn't even fight us. We could just pick her up, and we just brought her inside.
So you'll help
She
them.
was that weak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So those cats actually ended up because we domesticated them,
Mm-hmm.
and we named the little bastard Demon. He was a little demon when we first got him.
Mm-hmm.
He was a little demon, that's why we named him Demon. And the other one was named Destiny, because we felt it was her destiny to be with us or something. But anyway, I just like the name. So just think, fuck, 2-3 months before my grandmother passed away. I think it was 3 months before my
Okay. Your cat
yeah,
passed
3 months
away?
before she passed away. Destiny passed away. Yeah. So
Why?
underneath the
How?
couch that we had, underneath the couch we had it had strings of fabric hanging down underneath it, and she had gotten tangled up in them. and hung herself uh, by accident. We didn't even
Oh,
know.
poor
We didn't know for
baby.
like 3 days. Because she was a skittish cat, so she wouldn't be out all the time. She would go and like hide away for days at a time, come out at night to eat. So there would be days where we wouldn't see her and we didn't think anything of it. She was just that kind of cat. She was skittish. She liked to hide because she was always a weak cat. Um, Very sickly cat. And then one day I was sitting in the living room and I noticed a really weird smell. I had never smelled death before.
Yeah, it is.
So I didn't know what I was smelling. It just smelled really, really weird. So I
Mm-hmm.
smelled the floor. I bend down. I get down flat. And I smell the floor. There's a weird
Oh.
smell. And then I look under the couch.
And she was
See
there.
her hanging there. And
Oh.
yeah, she was already dead. She was long dead. Um, and like the worst part is, her head was facing where I looked. Like, so it was like she was looking at me
Oh.
with those white fucking eyes, dude. And I just like, I broke down. I'm like, Nana, Destiny's dead. And she's like, what do you mean Destiny's dead? I'm like, she's under the couch. She's dead. And
That's weird. My dad had a dog, Xena, that hung. You
mhm.
know those cables that the dogs run back and forth? She was on
Yeah.
that, and he left and came back, and she wrapped herself up in it. And I think
Oh
that's the most
man.
horrible way to go. That's the most, to me, that's the most wicked, you know? To,
Yeah. It's a terrible way to go, especially for an animal. Um, but yeah, so like she had been dead so long at that point though that she was like sticking to like the floor.
mm,
So yeah, we got her out. We cut her out. We had to cut her. Like she was so tight that we couldn't even just undo the wrap. The cords around her neck. We had to cut the cords from the couch itself, and then we put her body in a bag, and then we put it in a box, and then I went outside to I dug a hole and I buried her out by my basketball court. Um, then here's the kicker, right? A month later, it was wintertime. Snow had finally come down. Um, and so I went over there. Or maybe it was like 2 months later. Yeah. Yeah. And then snow had come down. And, there was like a slight hole where she was buried. So I think at one point, um, I think some coyotes got to her
yeah, dug her
body
up.
because they like dug it out. Yeah, dug her up and took her off somewhere. But here's the kicker, right? I left what was there. I just reburied it. They never came back, but there was always like a slight hole, a little bit of an indent in the ground because of the hole. Um, so that winter, I went out to the spot and I noticed something odd. There were footprints, kittens' footprints, going
Really?
from her burial spot straight out to a tree, and they just ended. There were no tracks, no feline tracks going to the grave, going or anywhere around. Just this one little line of like 8 footprints in a straight line, going from the grave
Oh.
straight to a tree, and then just gone. Like there was no starting steps, there was no finishing steps. Like there was nothing that veered off. Nothing was covered. It was just these one little line of steps going from her grave toward a tree, and then that was it. It was just,
And it was,
I had pictures
they were
of it for
cat paws?
years.
You knew they were
Yes,
cat
they were
paws?
kitten
Oh.
paws. They were, yeah. I'm from Vermont. My grandfather taught me the difference in tracks. And growing up with cats, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I'd always had a cat around the house at one point or another. But yeah, no, these were definitely kitten tracks, or cat tracks, I should say. But yeah, it was really strange. And then after Demon passed away, he passed away 3 months
After?
Yeah, like exactly 3 months
That's.
after my grandmother passed away. So
Oh.
okay, so like it was 6 months between the passing. No, it was like maybe like 8 months, maybe even 10 months between the passing of Destiny and my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, maybe closer to a year. I don't know. It was kind of like hard for me to remember at that time because it was a really rough time.
Yeah.
But it was like, really rough. It was about a year between their deaths, and then exactly even to the day, 3 months later, my cat Demon had to be put down because I don't know what it's called, but essentially his urine crystallized in his urinary tract and his kidneys. So they were
Oh.
blowing up. They said
Yeah.
he's got like a 95% chance of not making it through the anesthesia. Like they said that he would be dead as soon as
Yeah.
they put the anesthesia in him. He
Yeah.
wouldn't even make it through the surgery.
It's not
So,
worth it. That's what they practically said. Like,
right.
oh.
Yeah. And him and my grandmother were like really close, for a cat human relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I look back, it's not so surprising that she, took him along with her. Um, I actually have both of their ashes because they were both cremated, my grandmother and Demon, and they're in
Oh.
a closet in a box right now. Yeah, because
Well.
with a baby, it's hard to put out fragile stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I keep them. So
Safe.
my grandmother asked, yeah, safe. My grandmother asked for her ashes to be put in this specific jewelry box. It's a very old, maybe 60s jewelry box that's three sizes. There's a big bottom one, a
Mm-hmm.
middle one, and then a top one. It was small. Um, top one's gone, so you just had the bottom and the middle. In the bottom, she was asked for ashes to be put in there, and then certain things to be put in the box.
With her.
Um, but that hasn't been stuck to. My mom, you know, took out a special ring that my grandmother wore, but I was okay with it because I was the beneficiary to all my grandmother's stuff at the age of 16.
No.
Obviously, all that stuff was sold
She
by my
trusted you
mother,
more.
but
Wow.
oh yeah, I treasured all that stuff. My grandmother had like $10,000 to $20,000 worth of collectibles, but
You
my
didn't
mom
get
sold
any
them
of.
all off for much cheaper.
Ugh.
No, my mom sold it off. But when it came to financial decisions, when it came to certain items, I had final say. She did try to respect that. And I also had final say into who got the ashes of my grandmother. So I took the ashes. Um, of course, I talked it over with my mom because it
Mm-hmm.
was her mom.
Yeah.
And that's respectful. It's my grandmother after all, but it's her mom. But I had the ashes. And then after Demon was put down, he didn't even make it through the anesthesia to put him down. Because when they put an animal down, they do anesthesia first, and then they do the euthanasia.
Yeah.
You know, and
Mm.
he didn't. He actually passed away with the anesthesia in
So
my
they didn't even
arms.
have to give him the medicine.
They still did it. They still did it
Oh.
just to make sure, but
Yeah.
when they tried to insert the needle into his vein flaked off. Like
What the
they couldn't.
what?
Yeah, like I
That's
watched. There was no blood flow into the vein anymore, so it just flaked.
that's so weird.
Yeah,
How old of a
I don't
cat
even
was
know. They
he?
don't even know how he survived as long as he did. Probably only like 6, 7 years old. 6 years
Oh.
old. He was like 6 years, maybe 5 years old. Yeah, it
Hmm.
was just a freak accident, man. Like it's something got stuck or something, and that happened. But after he passed away in my arms, they checked his pulse from the anesthesia. There was no pulse. He was dead, but they still put the euthanasia medicine in
Just in
just to make
case.
sure because
Yeah.
they have to. Yeah.
Yeah. They got to take count of their
He died in my
medicine.
arms. I decided to, yeah.
You decided to get him cremated with your
I had
grandma.
him cremated. Yep, and I put him in the box that was the size bigger than hers, and I keep them together at all times because they were really close in life. So I've made sure that their ashes are close,
Yeah.
um,
Oh.
just out of respect for them.
Yep.
But I do think that that demon comes around from time to time. Sometimes I'll hear like shuffling coming from that box. So I'll open the box. There's nothing there. There's no mice. Nothing. And then sometimes I will feed a cat, get onto our bed, and climb up to me where he would lay. He would lay up by my head, and I'll feel it, and I'll just like kind of peek out. I'll just kind of with my eyes.
Yeah.
There's nothing there, but I can feel the heat. I
Yeah.
can feel the spot being pushed on, but there's nothing there. I'm physically looking at the indent, and there's just nothing there. And I'm like, okay, it's kind of freaky.
It is freaky. Trying to respond to people in the chat, but that is, I meant that I don't really have, the only one that I have that I know that he's here is the Bentley one, but I've had lots of cats and animals throughout my life. But never had I ever experienced anything. So that's,
You know, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. I've had a lot of cats in my life, but I've only had those two experiences.
yeah.
But I've had a lot of cats. I've had a lot of
But,
animals, but just
you know, people
those. And it's weird.
though, the thing is though is that you don't really think about paranormal stuff with animals, and we might have had a lot and don't notice it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Because
I do.
I think of just ghosts, you know, like the big stuff.
Human ghosts.
But you never know. What if against you and you felt like something touched you and you're like, is something crawling on me? And it wasn't actually a cat rubbing against you. You know? I've had that happen before, but I didn't connect. Oh, it might be one of my cats that passed away. But I know they do go to.
No, you actually bring up a really good point. You bring up a really good point because whenever someone mentions the paranormal, they think about human ghosts, you know, people that they knew or once knew coming back and, you know, making ruckus and letting them know that they're there. But we don't really think about it with animals. With animals, we often think, oh, well, they're gone and, you know, they're in heaven or wherever they are, whatever that person believes in. But we don't think about, oh, maybe they're visiting, maybe they're still here.
Yeah.
You know, like we don't. That's not like our first thought when it comes to the paranormal
Because
and animals. So you have
cats
a good
like to
point.
knock stuff off of tables and stuff. So might not be.
Ooh.
It might be a cat or a dog. Or like I've had a lot of
That's a
hamsters
good point.
that passed away.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Lynn just said something.
Raven, I guess we all have
Have the power, but some more than
Yes.
others.
that is
That's
correct.
not true.
Yeah. Everyone has a little bit of that psychic ability, but there are some people
I
that
don't
aren't
think that's true.
as receptive.
I don't know. I want to believe that everybody does, but I really don't think everybody does. I think there are some people that just are not born with
special.
the ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've met a lot. You have likely to have met a lot of people in our lives that we know they don't have any idea about the paranormal world. They have no idea
No.
about
They
what
don't
a ghost
believe
could
it.
even
They don't
be.
want to. Yeah. They don't want
Yeah.
to hear it. They don't.
I really do think there are people who are not born with a sixth sense, with no third eye, with no ability to, you know, no empathicness, no ability to pick up anything with the spirit world. I believe that there are some people that just are not born with anything at all. They're just completely normal. Because I have been to friends' houses that have been extremely haunted, and they would wonder why I would never come back there. And because I'm like, your house is haunted, dude. Your
They
house
don't.
is haunted. He's like, ghosts don't exist, dude. What are you talking about? I've lived here for years. Nothing weird like that has ever happened. I'm like,
Because
what do you mean? I was there for 3 nights, and like all this shit happened.
yeah, yep.
So I really do
Because
think that there's some people who just are not born with any kind of special ability like that.
Jacket said, "Ask Siri." I'm not an Apple user. I am a hardcore Android user. That's funny.
I have 2 Android phones right now. Does that tell you?
Yes,
Does that tell you
it does.
about my Apple experience?
Oh, MNTVV said some people just aren't open to it, and that's true. I meant,
That's
you kn-
true.
but I, when I moved to an apartment by myself in Florida for the first time, I had these 3 neighbors that were really close to me. You know, one lived in front, and then the other 2 lived kind of beside me. And it was weird because I could feel some of their energy. And then when I met them, it's like we all just clicked. And then the older woman, she said that when I moved in, she could feel my very strong energy I had. And that she was curious about me. And then we all just started kind of like started talking about all this stuff. I knew, my mom used to have 6th sense. Literally, when she was younger, she would say, the phone's about to ring, and the phone would ring. She used to have this dream where she used to push an ashtray with her mind across the coffee table. I thought that was weird. But we always told ourselves we're not witches, but we're special. That's what we'd say. Because I don't open myself up for being a witch or a psychic or anything, but I know I do things to help, crystals and stuff like that, because I do believe in this stuff. But
Ooh,
I'm not
I
open.
have something to show you after this then.
Okay. I'm not really. When I started kind of open up when I used to live in the apartment, I would say she was kind of like my mentor to help me, and I still talk to her till this day. And sometimes I tell her things that happen and to get advice, and I don't like do spells or nothing like that. It's just stuff that happens in my life that I just have to deal with.
Right.
I don't want it to be there. And everyone's like, oh, but if you did, you would be such a powerful, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but I don't want that. Like, I've had, spirits talk to me and stuff, and I feel bad, but I just don't want to open myself up for a lot of spirits to think they're allowed to come to me and disrupt my day and, stuff like that. I don't know, it's weird. I can't believe
Now, I want to say. Oh, sorry. I thought you. Go ahead.
Lynn, that's true. She said if you're not open to it, you won't develop it. Things just happen, and I know what it is.
Well, I just want to.
Go ahead.
That's. With that, I want to say, like, no, I'm. When it comes to abilities, I'm. I always stay in the middle with every opinion because I like to just stay in the middle. I say that that I don't believe everybody is. And that could be because maybe they just, like Lynn said, aren't open to it, so they don't develop anything. But I'm also challenged with that belief because now that I think about it, my in-laws, right? They didn't believe in ghosts. They
Yeah.
didn't believe in spirits. They thought it was all bullshit. But when their son, my wife's brother, killed himself, committed
Yeah.
suicide when he was 15, something changed. They went to see a psychic, and that psychic was able to tell them things that
They shouldn't have known.
normally people wouldn't know. Yeah, exactly. They
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't have known, like really deep personal things. They've seen their son's spirit. They've seen
Yeah.
things moved around. So, you know, I think a bit of it is maybe some people aren't born with it, but maybe also at the same time, maybe some people just
Close it
aren't,
off.
open to it, and
They
that's
close it
yeah,
off.
they just close it off.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be that maybe some people just aren't born with it, and maybe that everybody is, like you said, and we just got to develop it. And that comes down to who knows. Because I want to believe that everybody has it. I do. I really do,
Yeah.
because it would make so many people's lives better if they would just open up to this kind of stuff. When I was a kid,
I'm open, but I'm just like at a level that I don't open up to. Does that make sense? You
yeah,
know, third
yeah,
eye,
like,
I have
you're
spirit
open to an
guides,
extent.
all that stuff. I just, yeah. But go ahead.
You're
I'm sorry.
open to an extent. I get it. No, you're open to an extent. That's how I am. I don't open myself up completely because it really messes with my mental health,
Yep.
allowing things in like the spirit world like fully like that, because it fucks with me. I'll see what I regular people but are actually spirits, and I'll see what are spirits but I think are actually real people. And
Yes.
some people will be like, "Who are you talking to?"
Like you're driving
I'm
down
like,
the road
"You don't
and
see them?" They're like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
Like you're driving down the road and you're like, you see a
s-
person on the side of the road and
Yes.
you're like,
And then you
"Hey,
look
hubby,
back and
did you see that person?" They're
they're
like,
not
"No."
there. Yep.
Yeah, and I remember like I told this story when I can't remember if I told this story with Swamp Dweller when you came on my podcast again, but I was hiking and I saw this person going up the trail, and so I went up the mountain a little bit, and then that same person was coming back, or no, they were sitting on a bench, and so I went up to him. I was talking about something. What was I talking about? Oh, I can't.
You're talking to
I
them?
can't remember. We were just like talking about something, like the day or whatever. Yeah, yeah. I just sat on the bench next to him, and I was like, "This is a great day for a hike, isn't it?" They're like, "Yeah, yeah." And we just kind of just started talking about different things. This is when I
Yeah.
was younger, though. I was a kid. This person was an adult. I was like maybe 17, 18. And this person must have been like in their 30s or whatever. So, and when you're a hiker, a lot of people like can just sit down and talk with each other for a while. And it's like nothing because you're both just kind of taking a rest. But I just sat down and started talking to them. They were very open. We just talked about a bit of everything. Then this couple passed us going up the mountain, and me and this person, just me and this girl, waved to them, and they waved back at us, and they went up on the mountain. They talked to this lady for like maybe 5 to 10 more minutes, and then she gets up and she's like, "Well, I gotta go. I'll catch you later, okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I said goodbye. She said goodbye. I said goodbye. I went up on my merry way, and I'm near the top of the mountain, and the couple is coming back down,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Hey, I hate to bother you, but who are you talking to earlier?" They're like, "You didn't see that
What?
woman on the bench with me?" They're like, "No, there was nobody there. It was just you talking to yourself." I'm like, "Okay, thank you. Have a wonderful day."
That's
And I continue on my hike,
Ooh.
and that's why I can't open myself up fully, because I get myself in situations like
Yes,
that,
exactly.
and I look like I'm fucking nuts, and I don't want that.
Yeah. That's oh my gosh. See, I've
That
never
and the future seeing dreams are rough.
I don't really I don't like my sixth sense is where if I lost something, I can just sit and I go, where is it? And the first place that pops up in my head I look that place and it's usually there. Okay? But I
Mm-hmm.
don't have like I've had dreams of loved ones that have came back and talked to me. Um, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean, and to me they're not dreams. They're just them coming to visit. And then I don't have like future, I don't see the future. But that sucks if you do.
Hmm. Oh, it does. Yeah, I do, and it does suck.
I'm sorry.
Um,
Even Lynn said, "You've been through a lot, and I don't think you want to be more overwhelmed." Talking to you, Matt.
thank you, Lynn. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been through a lot, and I don't think I want to be more overwhelmed, and that's why I don't fully open myself up because there's a lot of mental struggle to this stuff. Um, I used to have future seeing dreams when I was a kid, and by future I mean like a year, 2 years, whatever. Um, and like as I got
Mm-hmm.
older though, kind of shut it off, like
Yeah,
just naturally, like I stopped allowing it.
because it can
Um,
overwhelm you. It's like you're living two different
now,
lives. That's how
yeah,
I feel.
yeah, yes. Um, but unfortunately, even though I've turned off the future seeing dreams, I'm not completely safe because things, I'm gonna say things, maybe it's spirits, maybe it's a spirit guide, maybe it's
Well, if they're
something, I don't know,
giving
but
you
they visit
hints
me in my
about something,
dreams. Yeah.
it's probably a
Yeah, they
guide.
like to visit. Maybe. Maybe. They something different things will visit me in my dreams, and it makes it really hard. Sometimes I don't want to be bothered in my sleep.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I don't sleep that
oh
much
no, it's
either.
okay.
I
Yeah.
lately it's like 3 o'clock in the morning until I finally go to sleep, and then
Mm-hmm.
I sleep more
Mm-hmm.
during the day. And Lynn says she used to have premonitions, but they stopped in my
Oh,
dreams. It's kind of like you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's exactly like what I had. Um, yeah, premonitions of my dreams. Yeah, that's exactly. I stopped allowing it though. That's the thing is I turned mine
Mm-hmm.
off. Oh, it does drain you. MNTVV. Um, is that Minty Viv? That's Minty Viv, isn't it?
Well, I will
Is that
say
Minty?
that you have to be careful about other empaths and not like other psychics draining your energy. It's called psychic attacks, and
Yeah.
you have to kind of um, have a little field around you where you keep yourself protected. Victor, I will have to look into that. Okay, he said that the Alabama one, supposedly 1 hour video, paranormal has a video on it, so I'll have to look for it. I've never Googled.
Hmm.
I've never Googled USS Alabama to see what other people have said, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
One thing that Alabama Stair Place Battlefield was the same place I'm thinking of. The soldiers wore blue clothes. Well, yeah. I mean, the Civil War, the War of Navy Blue, mortally wounded. Civil War, Spanish American War, in both World Wars. There are tours there, and a ghost did a tour one. Let's read. Um, I mean, I think you're talking about Fort. What is it? Fort. Can't remember.
Fort
My mind's already
Morgan.
shot. Fort Morgan. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. Feel like. Yeah. No. That'd be interesting to kind of look up on YouTube and be like, uh, is that like psychic vampires? Curious
I would
Raven.
say.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
You know.
that's essentially what a psychic vampire is. Is it's a psychic that drains your energy for their own, essentially.
Yep. That's true, and it's out there. Just some days I feel real tired, or some days I just don't feel like myself, and I have to ground myself because I don't feel like my soul is what it, where it should be, or it just, I feel off.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be it too. So,
Do you ever think like maybe there's like a spirit that's draining your energy
no,
in your household?
no. I do need to sage again. I try to sage, at least every 3 months or so, especially when I feel like things are kind of weird in the house. But
Okay.
I
Okay.
I don't. There's nothing here. I don't feel anything
Okay.
at all. That's
Would someone you be that you're around possibly be like a little bit of a energy vampire, or like someone that could be draining it without your like realization just by being around them?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I have no idea.
Hmm.
I I'm mainly just around my kids and my husband, and sometimes a couple of friends here and there, but that's about it.
Huh.
But you could have people online wishing ill will,
Yeah,
and I wouldn't ever know. So,
that's true. That's a good point. I knew it was Minty. Ah,
how do you say it?
Minty,
Minty?
Minty Viv, Minty
Minty
Viv.
Viv?
Yes.
Who's
Oh man,
Minty
her and I.
Viv?
She's in a few of the discords.
Minty
She's in
Viv.
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Minty Viv from my Discord. That's her.
Well,
Yeah,
that's cool.
she's in a few of the Discord. She's awesome. I love Minty. Minty is amazing. She's a super supportive lady. I
Aw. That's
like she's
good.
always giving you words
Well, I'm glad
of
that
kindness and
you're
advancement.
here.
Now, I guess yes. Oh, I'm so glad she's here. This is my last public appearance, so it's nice that she's here. To
They're gonna
experience it.
ask why.
I know.
He just needs to
Um,
take a little break.
well, I mean, if they ask why, I'll answer. There's a little bit of a lag to us talking and them answer and hearing it and answering. So, if they ask, um, I'll answer. It's not a problem. But yeah, to go back to the ghost stories, the house I grew up. Now, you mentioned in the very beginning of this, the little girl. You had some
Yes.
questions about the little girl. Do you remember what they were?
I really wanted, like, I cannot believe that she
To like,
warned you. She called your name to get out of the street.
yeah.
That must
Yes.
have been
Oh yeah,
scary.
that same street.
How old were
Um.
you?
Oh god, I was probably 11, 12 years old. Um. Oh yeah. Why is your last public appearance? How about this? I will tell you right after I answer her question. I was 12 years old. Um. See, you gotta understand though. Like, as soon as I moved in, my grandmother was like, "Look, I'm not gonna fuck around with you. Ghosts are real. Spirits are real. This house is haunted. You're gonna have to get used to it." I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, okay, yes, Nana. Um, so that was when I was 10 years old. So I'd had 2 years of like experiences at this point. Um, so this wasn't the first time I'd had an experience with this little girl though.
Oh
So
no.
when I was 11, um, I had gone to sleep one night. My cousin was over. Matt, I just subscribed earlier. Are you coming back to YT? Yes, I'm coming back to YT. I promise. I'm not going anywhere too long. It's just like by public appearance, I mean probably my last live stream with somebody for a while. Um, so anyway, my first experience with this girl,
Okay.
she had appeared. My cousin was over for a weekend, and you know, she was. My cousin had like brown hair, has brown hair and green eyes, and I need to make this clear right now. She was sleeping in the other bed. We shared the bedroom that night. She was in one end of the bed. She was in one end of the room. I was at the other end.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin has green hair, or
Brown
green
hair,
eyes,
green eyes.
brown hair. Yeah, not green hair, brown eyes. Or green eyes. And I woke up that night, and standing at the head of my bed, right above my head, was this little girl staring at my cousin
Duh.
who
Okay.
was sleeping, right across from me, but across the room. I woke up, she was staring at my cousin, and then she turned to look at me. And this little girl had blue eyes, blonde hair. She was wearing a little white dress, and she had these really pretty teeth. She just smiled at me. I freaked out.
I don't.
I freaked out.
I don't blame you.
So that was my first experience with her. It's the last time I saw her though. But then there was yours where you mentioned that she called my name. So I was like I was on the fence. Like there's a fence that lines the yard next to the road. It's actually still there too. I went by the house when I was in Vermont. It's still there. But this fence was old at that point. And I was just like chilling around it, sitting on it, and then I started going into the road for some. I think like at that point I was playing with a ball or something. I can't really remember, but I remember like I went to go, and then I heard her say, don't go in the road or something to that effect. And then so I stopped and I was like, who's there? Because I was home alone. There was nobody else at the house. I was 12 years old. There was nobody else at the house. My grandmother and grandfather had gone to the store.
Okay.
And just in the middle of nowhere in Vermont, people don't really have to worry about leaving your kids home alone.
Well, I live in
it's not like a
Orlando. My
main
kid's
concern.
13. He started
Yeah. Yeah.
even walked home by himself, so you just
Yep.
gotta prepare him. But go ahead.
So yeah, just no, you're fine. You're fine. I heard the voice and I turned around. I was like, "Who's there?" And then all of a sudden, I hear some big truck just sped by.
Yeah.
And if I had kept on walking out, it would have gone around that bend and hit me, and I'd likely be dead.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's amazing.
she saved me from the fate that took her, and it's kind of weird to me. Now they did ask why I'm leaving. Why is your last public appearance? Can I put this? Due to a decline in mental health from lack sleeping and some other stuff, I am taking a step back from social media for the most part. I will still be uploading to my channel, probably more narrations than podcast episodes for the time being, but
Okay.
I'll still be uploading from time to time. I'm not completely disappearing. I'm just disappearing from doing live streams. Yeah, I'm disappearing kind of from social media. So if somebody wants to collab with me or wants me to do some lines or whatever, yeah, they just gotta reach out to me, send me the lines, and I'll do it for them, get them back to you. But if somebody wants me on a live stream, I'm likely not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna upload from time to time, collab with others from time to time. But in terms of social media usage, I won't be on Twitter much, won't be on Discord much. I'll probably just kind of be
Around.
doing whatever and uploading when I can. Yeah, just be
Well,
around. I'm not gonna.
I'm only doing.
I need
I'm
to
gonna-
just focus on getting better.
Yes, and that's very important. Mental health is very important. That's why sometimes I write on Twitter saying, sorry, I'm not doing 3 videos this week,
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a lot of health issues. And it just depends on how I'm feeling that day. I'm going to try to do a live stream at least once a month. That's my goal. I don't want to get like the YouTubers that do live streams all the time. Because that's just not me, My style is just putting out videos. And I do want to start putting out some true crime videos. So that's coming. But I'm very happy that I was your last gig. It sounds funny.
Well,
I was your last live stream collab.
last live gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be the last one for a while. You know, I have not been myself lately.
I'm sorry.
Anyone that watches this
Mm-hmm.
can very well
Tell.
attest to that. You can attest
Yep.
to that. So it's best I just step away for a while and try to come back at a later date. Maybe try to, you know, atone for what I've done and just, you know, start over. But in the meantime, I'm going to just step away and get better. Uh, let's see. Oh, I just saw the chat.
Yeah, Victor
Me
said
too. I
something
suffer
to
from
you.
depression, anxiety also. What are you trying to say, CR? Yeah, Matt, nice for the girl saving you. Reminds me of the woman, man, ghost spots or hot spots in the hospital. Long story short, is a very unexpected story. Rest, Matt, rest. Thank you. Don't want to be like the YouTubers that live
Um,
stream all the time.
okay,
What
I
are you trying
wanted
to
you to
say,
get to that.
CR?
First off, Mr. Lucas, you only do it on Sundays, and that's not all the time. I'm talking about
No.
other people that do it, but that's their channel and that's their decision that they want to do it. But me, I'm just not
Mm-hmm.
going to live stream all the time. I'm thinking like maybe once a month. But yeah, I'm not talking any ill will towards you, Lucas, and you know that. You know I love you.
Hey, everybody loves Raven. Everybody loves Raven. I'm not allowed to call him Lucas. He made that very clear to me a long time ago. But um,
Well, I would say we're really
Raven's
good friends,
amazing.
so as the Raven dreams.
Yes, Raven has helped to keep me mentally grounded, even though I'm a crazy motherfucker. I feel bad for the poor guy and not been the best friend.
Oh, well,
Um,
that's a
but it's
friend.
okay. Him and I are on good on
Good
better
terms. Yeah.
terms. Yeah, we're on better terms than the other day, and that's all that matters to me. But he's the one who actually gave me the advice that I should probably just step away, recoup, regroup, and then try to like
You're getting overwhelmed
maybe
because
come
of
back
your.
into the.
Yeah. Did you hear me?
Yeah, what?
I
I'm sorry, you
said.
cut out for a sec.
I said you're getting overwhelmed. You have a lot going on in your life right now, and it's hard to juggle everything.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
So
it's a struggle. So it's best that I take his advice, take Lucas's
he's
advice, and
very
step out of the sunlight.
he's very wise, very
He is very
smart.
wise. You gotta understand, I'm just a 25-year-old little punk
No,
who's.
I am almost 10 years older than you.
I am a very headstrong. I'm wise, but I'm very strong, and sometimes the headstrongness definitely overtakes the wiseness. And Lucas has helped me with that.
Okay.
And I'm very appreciative of everything he's done for me. I I just have a problem with how I say things, and they come across as completely different than what I'm trying to mean.
Like you're being an asshole.
So, yes,
My husband's
very
like
much
that.
so. Yep. And that's happened between me and Raven a couple times. I'll say something means something different, but it's coming off as me being an asshole or controlling or whatever, and it's not meant to be. It's just like the way I type it out. The tone of the typing
That
is like a lot
sucks.
different than what it actually is. And
That's why you have to put emojis
yeah.
behind everything you say.
I don't like emojis. I can never pick the right emoji.
Did
Like
he
this-
just say he's a
I-
3-year-old sage? What does that mean, sage?
he is
What does sage mean? What does that mean? A
wise
30-year-old.
man, like a wise wizard, like
Oh, I've never heard that term before used like that.
yeah.
Okay.
a sage is like the wise man of a kingdom, you know. So like when court, when kings would have a question, they'd go to the sage, and then
Okay.
this would
I'm
give them
s-
advice on what they should do. So essentially, it was always an older guy that had more life experience. But Lucas,
What about Texas
on the
toast?
other hand, is
What
a
about
30-year
Texas
old
toast?
with the life experience of an 80-year-old.
What about? It's so
What about
funny.
Texas toast?
Yeah. He just called you. You just called him Luke. He said, "Don't call him that."
I said Lucas.
Oh, okay, thank God. You're gonna have him go into
I
a
said
rant.
Lucas.
But no, it's funny because
Maybe I cut out.
he says, "I like peanut butter on toast."
So okay, I keep hearing about Raven and Texas toast, but I've
He
never
doesn't like
understood
thick toast. He says it's not toast. It's too thick. Or something like that.
Okay.
He doesn't feel that it's real toast. It's
Well,
I forgot what he said it was.
Okay.
I make fun
It's
of
kind
him.
of funny.
I send him little emojis of thick buns and bread and just to pick on him. It's only toast if you choose it to be toast.
That's true. That's
That
true.
is true.
If in your opinion it is not toast, then it is not toast.
Yep. That is a big slap, a big gigantic piece of bread, isn't it?
Now I'm sure you read most of the ghost stories I sent you. Yeah. pretty
Yeah, I
much.
read all of them.
Do you have any questions about any of them? I know there was a little girl, and I already answered that one.
No, I mean, not really. Let me go back because I don't, but I read and I get so many stories that I don't remember them. Like,
Okay.
you know
No,
how like
no,
you
I
have
understand.
ghost you know how you have ghost stories, okay? I could easily pass off one of the hundreds of ghost stories that I've read as mine, but I don't. And I wouldn't. I'm not like that.
Right.
But it also is because I do not remember any of them that I have read. Does that
Now-
sounds bad?
Raven says I drink a lot of coffee.
He does.
I do too. I think I'm on my like 8th to 10th cup of coffee today. I'm about a pot.
It's too
pot and a half
late.
down.
It's starting to get too late for you to drink coffee.
No, it's not.
Maybe that's why you can't sleep at night.
No, it ain't. No, actually. Caffeine puts me to sleep.
I'm just picking
Um,
on you.
Yeah, no. It's never too late to drink coffee. It's never too late to drink coffee.
Oh, I feel so bad.
know.
You know, because grandma that passed away from cancer I was talking about, her name is Nana.
Mm-hmm.
And it's spelt the same way as Nana. So I was calling your Nana Nana the whole time. I'm sorry. In the video. So I apologize.
Ah,
That
It's all good.
That-
It does happen. Like when you have the same word spelled the same way but two different pronunciations based on
Where we're from.
your the way you're where you're from, where your family's from. It happens. Mine were like what did my nana say it was Spanish or Indian term or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. It was more off of, but excuse me. But yeah, no,
Oh,
I just know like there's
I-
Nana, there's Nana.
yeah. There's a lot. My mom, she's called Mama. But you need to understand, we're from Alabama, so there's gonna be a lot of country in there.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
And I think you're from up north, right?
I'm from Vermont, but my family's from Massachusetts and Alabama.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a story
And
here
then
that you did read about that you saw a human shaped shadow in the corner of the room and you just was staring at it and it was just staring back at you.
yes, yeah, that's actually one of the ones that happened where I'm living now.
I meant, did you like see facial features or
Oh, yeah, no. Um,
but you could just feel
so
that it was looking at you?
yeah, like its body position was directly at me. Um, like okay, so I mean, you could clearly see the shape of like the head, the shoulders, and the body, right?
It's like a
Um,
silhouette.
it was a yeah, it was pretty much like a shadow. It was a shadow person essentially,
Yeah,
like a shadow
yeah. Okay.
person. But like they just came up out of the floor. They came up out of the floor and
Hell
just
no.
stood there. Just stood there. And I had my son in my arms. I was trying to get him to sleep. It was late. I was tired. And I did not want to wake him up. But because he was finally falling asleep over my shoulder, I wasn't going to move because of a damn ghost. Okay? So this thing, I'm sitting there, just comes right up out of the floor. And it just stands there. Like, its body is positioned, like, directly at me. Um, and I'm just staring at it. I'm not even scared. I'm more like in a moment of protectiveness. Like, am I gonna have to like fight a ghost to protect my son right now? So I'm just staring at it. It's staring at me, and like, yeah, no facial features, no details. It was just like a shadow person, man. But
But
all it did was stand there still.
oh no.
Yeah, man. And then, well, you know the rest. Door
Well,
opens, it goes back into the floor.
did you feel like how did you feel the energy off of it? Was it sinister or
No, no, actually, the energy off of it was kind of, I don't know. I want to
just okay?
say it was, yeah, it was just okay. Like neutral. Like it didn't seem positive, but it didn't seem negative. It just seemed like it was there, you know? Like there were no there was no negativity to it, there was no positivity to it. And that's what throws me off because usually I feel the difference. But
Yeah,
this one I tried, I couldn't feel the difference. It just had like a neutral energy to it.
that's
So I don't
crazy.
know.
Well,
It was an experience, man.
there was a story that I remember. I do remember this that I read of a redditor. I was allowed to read it, and something about that he I can't it might even be a narrator story. I cannot, but I vaguely remember that he was sleeping over at a friend's house and he saw a shadow come out of the floor and he got up and
Whoa.
he ran. Yeah, the
Yep.
exact same thing. And when he would tell his friend's mom, she would just say, "Oh, that's my husband that passed away." He's like, "What?" So, yeah, it was weird. There's more to it, but I just can't remember it. It was something along those lines. Yeah.
Wow.
If
Yes,
if
and it's like so.
if I find it, I'll send you the story so you can read it for yourself. It's
Please do,
yeah,
because
it's weird.
it sounds a lot like what I experienced. Like this
Came
thing,
out
like,
of the floor.
and when it shrunk down, it kind of like went to like I don't know the circular like darkness, and then that just kind of disappeared. And then when the door shut, it kind of just reformed, and then up it came, just up it came, and yeah, it's just really weird. Like I wish I could explain what it was. I wish I